Hello Virgo, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Virgo for the week of September 5th. Now do keep in mind, this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate. Drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. So you do have the Wheel of Fortune popping out. I am using the Mermaid Tarot as well as the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right, let's go ahead and get all the cards out here. Make sure everything's in view, and then we'll get right into it. Do hope you're doing well, Virgo. Hope things are going good for you. All right, we'll go ahead and take 3 of these Oracle cards to clarify as we go along. Put those up there, and we'll put this right here. Okay. Virgo, so really liking what I'm seeing for you here. Some of you, your financial situation is heavy on your mind right now. It's in full focus for some of you in this week. I did just release a career and finance reading if you want to check that out. I'm sure it'll be linked at the end of this video, but you can also check it out on my channel. But I just say that because we have these 2 pentacle cards that are sticking out to me here. There seems to be a flow of energy here that is also prominent in this reading that I'm picking up on. And so for some of you, I think you're getting into a flow state as it relates to your work. I think some of you are getting into a flow state in your life in some ways. I think things are sort of flowing along for you right now. So let's just dive into this. So in the overall situation, you do have this 9 of Pentacles card, which is about financial independence. This person is really living life right now. And, this illustration first brought this to my attention. When I first saw this illustration months ago, when I bought this deck, this 9 of Pentacles is about the idea that health is wealth. And this is really the best illustration I've been able to find for it. You can see that their pentacles are growing on the vines above them, but they're not really concerned about the pentacles there. They're safe. They feel safe knowing that these pentacles are growing. Instead, what they're doing is they're focusing on themselves. They're focusing on their health. And they realize that wealth is just one part of it. It's just one part of the equation, right, that we sign up to sort of do on Earth. The other part of the equation is taking care of our health and taking care of ourselves. And that's kind of this idea of the 9 of Pentacles. But, the truth is, like, when you are, putting yourself in a position to be financially independent, to stand on your own feet, it is a lot easier to sort of also put yourself in a position to be healthy, right? And so it's this idea of kind of creating a balance between 2 worlds, not being too focused on money, but also not being, hyper obsessive about health. A nice balance of this idea that health is wealth, kind of a balance of both. And I think that some of you are kind of in this flow state right now. There's a book called, I believe it's called Flow State, or it's called Flow. If you just want to, if you Google Flow State book, I think you'll be able to find it. I don't know. Some of you may want to take a look at that book. There could be something interesting in that book for you. It's kind of it's about productivity, and it's about kind of getting into a flow state. But anyway, in the past, you have this Judgment card and the Queen of Wands. So the Judgment card is, this is like the final boss. This is something that is challenging for you to do, but ultimately is providing you with great rewards. The Judgment card is a very positive card, but it is a serious energy in that, like, it sometimes in life, like, the hardest thing, obviously the hardest things provide the greatest rewards. It's kind of the idea of the Judgment energy. But you can also see there's this like swirling energy here. And then also in this Queen of Wands, you can see the life force energy kind of flowing through their hands. And to me, this is you about, like, maybe if it's not flow, it's about you generating some type of energy or generating some type of idea here in the past. I think some of you have generated like a new idea or a new path, or you've moved into a new state of flow or a new state of being for yourself here. And I think it probably feels pretty good for you with this with this combination in the past, the Queen of Wands really asks you to be the most authentic version of yourself that you can be. And in doing so, you will attract amazing things into your life. And so it's both cards are incredibly positive, but definitely feel like for some of you, you've been attracting important situations as it relates to your financial life, or as it relates to this idea of flow. I'm trying to unpack it a little bit more. It's sort of like this idea of you kind of just naturally being in rhythm with everything and not questioning, but just kind of being is kind of what I'm seeing here. Not questioning, but just kind of being. And that's a really nice state of being to be in. In the future, you have the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups here showing up. So the Knight of Pentacles is some type of arrival of a financial event. This person, on one hand, you can see that they are writing in their book. This could indicate that maybe they're doing some bookkeeping. So maybe they're planning, budgeting, preparing, thinking about how to spend their resources or their money, or thinking about how to earn more money. But on the other hand, you could also say that perhaps they are studying as well. Pentacles is associated with academia and learning. And so it is possible that some of you are, learning something new, learning on the job, or I don't know if I'm getting like going back to school vibe. Maybe some of you are. I'll have to see what other cards come in the clarifications, but I do think that some of you are picking up knowledge here or learning something new. You have the Six of Cups, which there's just an energy between the people here. And the Six of Cups can talk about something from the past. Some of you may be revisiting something you've always wanted to do or something you've always wanted to learn. This could be coming in. Like maybe you're picking up a skill in your career that you've kind of always wanted to and never had the opportunity to do. This could certainly bring something like that into your life. Let's go ahead and start to clarify this message here. So you have the World. Wow. You have the Temperance card. You have the Seven of Swords. And you have the Six of Pentacles. So it's incredible here that you're getting these cards. And the reason is, I was looking at that Six of Cups and I was thinking about this illustration of the Six of Pentacles, which I remember so clearly from this deck. I don't use this deck often, but you can see the imagery is similar. There are six people, or in this case, what are they, fairies or something? And there's this like water that's flowing between the pentacles, right? And you also have this symbolism here showing up in the Temperance card, which you can see the energy flowing between the shells here. And so there is clearly something that is, we could say moving along, but I don't know if that's the right way of describing it. It's sort of something like swimming along, or it's like, I think that you're generating at this time. I get this idea of you generating something, generating energy, generating ideas. The Six of Pentacles by default is this idea that if you've been giving, you can get ready to receive. If you've been receiving too much, you'll probably likely start to give back in some ways. It's the sort of karmic balance between everything in life, particularly as it relates to finances. So this can bring about financial balance. In other illustrations of the card, you'll see a scale. Scales in tarot represent balance and karma. And so there's like a balance here, but it's like it's an energetic balance is what I'm seeing. And I think it's also a balance between your literal health and your money, your health and wealth here. I think this is the balance that some of you are looking for. I also think that some of you, if there's something that you need to learn, this is a great time for you to learn something new. Like if there is, I'm thinking sort of like certification, or if there's just some, like, I don't know, maybe you've never learned Excel, like spreadsheets, and now you're being asked to learn Excel. This is a really good time to learn something like that, right? That's just an example. Or if there's like an extra thing that you need to pick up. I think that this week is, it could be a very good time for that. You have this Judgment in the World. In the past here, Judgment is number 20, the World is 21. In the past here, you've successfully been faced with a challenge, you've evaluated it, and you've completed it. The world is a completion. It is a major card of success and a major card of, good energy, because it's like this idea that you're kind of sitting at the top of the world. You've completed something important. The Temperance card says your situation is turned around as a result of this event that has been completed, or this cycle that is closed out. And then you have the Seven of Swords as well. It can be about deception, but in this case, I don't feel deception. I feel like this is getting prepared for, like building a strategy in your life, taking a clever approach to a problem. I think this is about strategizing in your life. And I think it's like, it's something to do with this idea of flow that I've never really picked up in a reading before, where maybe it's like energy management, time management, being in balance with things. I think being in balance with your health and your money situation. Let's go and take a look at these 3 oracle cards here. Okay, so you have the Holy Spirit, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real, miracles will occur naturally, Spirit has your back. White Eagle, ancestor spirit, connect to your lineage, a family wound or pattern can be healed now. And then you also have Mary Magdalene, teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call, don't let anything stop you. It's a card associated with learning, obviously teacher awakens. And there seems to be something very nice here. Some of you could be reconnecting with family. It is your season, right? It is Virgo season. And so some of you could be doing that, but I get this idea of you learning something heavily coming in here. Let's go ahead and take a look at clarifying some more. But if you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have the Queen of Cups, you have the Devil, and you have the Sun. Okay, so polar opposite cards here. One card never makes a reading, so I'm not concerned about this Devil card. I think actually some of you, if you take a look at this imagery here, I think some of you are realizing that there's a lot more to life than just like riches and money. And I think you're like not allowing yourself to be trapped or bogged down by the weight of material possessions anymore. Some of you may be adopting a minimalist lifestyle. Some of you may be paring down. And I think some of you are recognizing that there's also this currency of fun. Fun and being healthy is also a currency in life. And I think some of you are sort of experiencing that. This is a deep reading. I have to tell you, this is one of the deepest readings I've done in a long time. Again, this idea of flow here is showing up. You're just getting all of them. You can see this energy here emanating from the cup that the Queen of Cups is holding. There's something that you're generating here. I mean, look, the life force going through the Queen of Wands hand, the energy here coming out of the Queen of Cups cup, and some of the other symbols here as well, like the Temperance card and the Six of Cups. There's also something about law of attraction in this reading as well that I think some of you are maybe looking at. Maybe you're reading the book, The Secret, or watching the documentary, The Secret. By the way, huge fan of that documentary. If you want to watch it, you can find it online. I think it's on Netflix too. It used to be, I don't know if it still is, but a really great documentary. And so I think some of you are maybe like doing something with the law of attraction, or you're just bringing something important into your life that could really help you. You have the Sun card, which for me is the best omen to find in a tarot reading. It's total positivity, total success, light energy, and abundance, joy. It's also a card of truth. And you're finding your truth at this time, I feel like. And it's something maybe to do with your material possessions. You have the Four of Swords, and you also have the Four of Cups here as well. So 2 4s coming in. 4 is a number of stability. And the Four of Swords is about healing. It's about health. It's about recovery, reflection, contemplation. And the Four of Cups, it can also be about, the Four of Cups can be about reflection, but make sure you're not, make sure you're not missing out on something. That's what the Four of Cups asks you to do, especially with the Devil energy in the Four of Cups. Do not become apathetic. Do not procrastinate when you get the Devil and the Four of Cups energy, because that's a literal combination of procrastination. So just something to consider. But there could be like kind of a solution available to you, which I think there is here, but you'll need to make sure that you don't miss out on it. At the top of the pyramid, you have the moon. You can see the musical notes coming out of the person on the moon, indicating the voice of the universe, listening to the voice of your soul, listening to the voice of the universe, listening to the sounds within the sounds, and connecting to the universe at this time. So I really, really love this energy here. Let's see what's on the bottom of this deck. You have the Three of Swords. Okay, so some of you are just releasing something, and I think that I'm not concerned about that. I think some of you are releasing an attachment to a material possession or to some of your material possessions, and you're recognizing that there's a whole lot more to life than just money and material possessions. So, wow, what a deep reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.